This week on the Digital Coffee, Google Maps is getting a news feed. Instagram is going to let you go live with up to 3 guests. And what social networks are going to be hot in 2021? All that and more after this. Good morning, and welcome to the Digital Coffee. This is your weekly dose of digital marketing and social media news for small business. My name is Amanda Webb. I am grasping this cup because I tried to do this show live and my internet said no. It said no, so I thought I would record it for you. This is a recorded version, so I am late getting my coffee this week. I have lots of news for you, so I hope you enjoy this slightly different format. Let's get on with the news.
I'm Ian Undersegray and you're watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
If you are a local business, I'm sure you know how important it is to be on Google Maps, to use Google My Business, but it's going to get even more important because Google Maps is launching a news feed. Yes, a news feed like you get on social networks. It's going to be when you open Google Maps, underneath your local recommendations, you will see posts from other Google users, photographs, comments, reviews. You'll also see posts from businesses, local businesses, from their Google My Business pages, which means it's going to be far easier to discover businesses on maps. And weirdly, this is bringing social networking into Google. You know, Google, who have constantly failed at having a social network. This is making us use Google My Business. You're also going to have to think about the posts that you put up on your Google My Business. It can't just be the random things you might put on other channels, because this should be your goal to attract people into your business today when they see the post. I'm going to be interested to see how this evolves, but Google My Business, definitely one to watch in 2021.
Hi, I'm Charlie Lawrence and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Google is updating its messaging tools, and this is important because if somebody comes to your business online and they have a question and they look for an answer to that question and they can't get the answer to that question, they leave without buying. But what if they could just send you a message with that question and you could answer that question? You're not going to lose them. And we know messaging is important. And this week, Google is getting in on the game. It is making it easier for people to message you and for you to respond. So firstly, you'll be able to see your messages that you get in Google Maps, which is weird. Secondly, when people see posts from you from your Google My Business page, they'll be able to message you directly from there. And thirdly, this one's interesting. If they try to call your business from your Google listing and nobody answers, they'll be prompted to send you a message. At the moment, the Maps thing is only for verified Google My Business businesses, but yet again, this is another reason for you to pay more attention to Google My Business in 2021 if you are a local business.
Hey, it's Andy at Content Cal here, and you're watching A Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Podcasts and live shows are just so much better when there are more than 2 people involved. Well, I think so. So more than just you and a guest, or more than just 2 presenters. I think they are just so much better. And I think that's because there's more banter, right? More people, more banter, but also more people, more perspectives, which is more interesting in the end. And on all social platforms, apart from Instagram, you're able to use third-party software so you can bring in guests and you can broadcast to those channels, making those really interesting conversations. But not on Instagram, because Instagram doesn't allow third-party integration of live streaming tools officially. And this could be why they are testing in India right now the option to go live with up to 3 guests. And this could make it so much better. You could have more guests, you could have a panel like I discussed, but also you could bring in viewers live to ask questions from your guests. I'm really excited to see how this evolves.
Hi, I'm Kyra Fingleton from Glamping Under the Stars, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
TikTok is considering letting you upload longer videos. Now tell me, can you do everything you want to on TikTok in 1 minute, which is the current limit? Maybe not, but I do think sometimes limitations like that can really enhance creativity. And I think TikTok is packed with creativity. It's just a wonderful network from that point of view. And also I feel from a commitment level, when I go in to watch a video on TikTok, I'm willing to watch the end if it sounds like it's going to be interesting, because I know it's only going to be 1 minute. You're not going to keep my attention for 10 minutes. I think that is good. But TikTok are suggesting longer TikTok videos, 3-minute uploads to some users. They're testing this out at the moment. And my initial reaction was no, do not do that. TikTok, it will ruin TikTok. Like, I hardly use the network myself. But that was my initial reaction, because it could mean people will ramble on. It could mean that the content won't be as creative and exciting and dynamic, which is what TikTok has. But then I thought back to the time that Twitter changed its character limit from 40 characters to 280 characters. And I was not a fan of that idea at all. I made a long video of me basically shouting no for about 3 minutes. But it worked, right? So I figure this is a test from TikTok. They're going to keep an eye on it. They're going to see what the engagement is like, what sort of quality content comes out, and they will make the decision based on that. Again, not a fan, but it could be cool.
Hi, I'm Lee from Wellshot, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb. Cheers.
One of the downsides of Instagram Live is that you cannot rehearse. Like, you click that live button and you are live on Instagram and people are watching and they're commenting, and suddenly you're like, ah! And what if you want to practice? Because, you know, there's buttons to press and there's things to do. And particularly if you're having a guest on, how does that work? Or if you're going to be a guest, you want to understand how that works. But there was no way of trying it in advance. But there is now. Instagram are testing the option to go live on Instagram privately. And this means nobody will get a notification. No, it won't appear in your stories, but you will be able to invite other people in to join in with you. So this could be brilliant, not just for rehearsing, but also maybe you want to have a private event, you know, members only event or an exclusive event. You might have a product launch or a sale, or maybe you're interviewing somebody really epic and you want to give access just to members of a community or members of a group. Could be fabulous for that too. So I'm looking forward to seeing this one roll out, mostly because when I'm researching my show every week, I tend to go into Instagram to see the new features and end up going live on Instagram and having to hide because I haven't got any makeup on.
This is May King from The FOMO Creator, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Businesses are looking for an alternative social network. I don't think we're leaving Facebook, because as much as it annoys me, it is still the place where I have my best connection with my community. But people are looking elsewhere. They want a second network, so if something happens to Facebook, they've still got a home. And we've seen lots of bad things, ad accounts, Facebook pages getting taken down recently. And that does throw people, worry people, and make them think they need to be somewhere else. And of course it can't be Instagram, right? Because Facebook own Instagram. So they're looking elsewhere for that second network. And one network that could be on the cards for 2021 is Reddit. Now, Reddit isn't a social network like your other social networks. It's basically, if you were around on the internet before Facebook, there were these things called internet forums or chat rooms. They were huge. And they were just places where you would have conversations. Somebody would open a thread and you would discuss the topic. Somebody would put up a topic for conversation and you would discuss it. The difference with Reddit is those forums were very much topic based. This covers everything, and there's lots of little subreddits, and a subreddit would be related to a specific interest. So you could subscribe to the various subreddits for cats, for example. This is a great network for finding out more about your customers. If you can find the subreddits that people who represent your customers are in, you'll find the topics that they're interested in, the language that they use. You'll get to understand and know them a lot better. But could it be used more for business? They do have an advertising product, and it is a very interactive space. And the reason I think that we should take a look at it for 2021 is that it is growing fast. I mean, it's been around forever, but in the last year, it grew its daily active users by 44%. It now has 52 million people logging in every single day. And to put that into perspective, it's still tiny. That orange bar represents Reddit. It is still tiny compared to Twitter and Snapchat and look at Facebook. But its rapid growth suggests it's one we should look at. Now, it is different. You're not going to go and set up a business page, and you can't just go in there and talk about your products, because there's an etiquette and a style on Reddit that you need to be aware of beforehand. So go check it out. Join some of those subreddits about your own interests and the interests that your customers might have, and see, could it be one as a backup network for 2021? And that is all from me on the Digital Coffee this week. I hope you enjoyed this recording. I shall be back, same bat time, same bat place next week. Until then, bye-bye.